Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hi, Jacalyn. Yes. How are you?
Hi, Lee. So, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Hi, Lee. Good to see
Oh,
you.
hiya.
I know we have a few more people that are going to be joining us. So while we're waiting for a couple of more people, why don't you go ahead and just type in the chat where you're from? I know, Lee, you're from UK, but just go ahead and share that
Sure.
way everybody else that comes on will. Hello. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jacalyn.
Okay, I see Larry. Okay, there's Larry. And I know Nisha is going to join us. So hopefully I'll remember to keep checking this to get everybody in. So go ahead and type where you're from in the chat. And okay, great. Okay, so welcome, fellow creatives. So we really had a couple of challenges earlier, a few screening glitches, it looks like. Hi, Larry. How are you?
How are you?
Good. A few screening glitches. And then we had an email glitch that went out last night. But that's technology. You love it or you hate it, I tell you. So it's not a whole lot we can do about it because we certainly do need it. So, and again, I was just, Larry and Mark just mentioning to everybody to make sure you just let us know where you hail from. I wanted to start by giving the filmmakers a chance to speak, and then I want to go right to Lee, because Lee is joining us from the UK, and this is bedtime.
Yes, it is.
Particularly if you're like me. I'm a very early person who go to bed early, so I don't stay up late. Those days have long passed. So, and I know, Kim, why don't you go ahead and talk about your movie real quick? I don't know whether it's screened yet or not, or is it?
It's going to screen, I think, this evening, probably
Okay.
in the 6 o'clock slot, and it's a poem, a collective poem that a group of actors that we wrote together, and I made a short little film about it. It's called "The Things I Say to My Animal," and yes, it's very sweet, and it was a very collaborative work with a lot of us that put in a lot of time and effort. Um, and we have a group of actors from Detroit Street Films and Station House that meet every Thursday night. And before we start our readings, we have usually about 6 to 7 writers that present 10-minute shorts that we all read. We cast it within the room, and we just read it. It's for the writers to help them hear it aloud. And then before we start the readings, we go around and choose a theme, or we choose a title. And each participant in the room gets to write 12 words or less that relate to that title or subject. And then we have a wonderful collaborator that puts it all together, and it comes out like a poem. And then one of us chooses that to direct it and make a poem film. And so we're very excited that, Jacalyn, that we're in this wonderful festival. Very excited. We have 5 of them that are in the festival, so we're excited.
Wonderful. That is so great. 5 films?
5. We have My Foot Hurts, Seduction, what is Michael's? It's by Michael Franco. Seduction.
Sedition, something.
Yes. Yes. We have the shirts, the t-shirts that are talking. That was done by Michelle O'Shea with animation, which was wonderful. I feel like I'm missing one. One, two, three, four, five. My own. I'll think of
guys
it.
are on a serious roll then with your group of poets and writers and creatives and everything. So that's great.
We feel very, very fortunate to be a part of this. Yes.
Wonderful. That's great. And so Lee, we have a couple other filmmakers, but Lee, go ahead and talk about yours real quick. Your film.
Yeah, so my film is called A Nice Cup of Tea, and before making that film, I made another poetry film, which was basically about my partner and his love of our dog called Rufus. And I've got this kind of quite strange relationship with Rufus because I sort of love the dog, but I'm also slightly jealous of it as well, because Alex, my partner, sort of loves Rufus and is affectionate with Rufus in ways that he's not with me. So the only ways that I could deal with it was by making this poetry film where I dress up in a dog suit and like Rufus, and it's completely absurd. It's just complete fantasy, and then it becomes sort of a mad kind of murder mystery. It's completely bonkers. And someone saw that film and said it's really funny, but it's kind of a really sad, well, not a sad, but a kind of yeah, it's like I don't know, a critique of your relationship. And what if Alex actually sees this? And so I then thought I need to take a step back, and then I did this film, which is about the one that you've in this festival. So thank you so much. It's about when I met Alex and the excitement of meeting him for the first time. And let's say I had at the time quite a busy social life and sort of drinking and going into bars and pubs and nightclubs. But with Alex, it was completely different. He didn't like any of that, and he liked drinking cups of tea. And so I went to all these different places in London, and the section at the end where I'm in this pub where I would basically get drunk and drink lots of drink and all the rest of it, I'm sitting there having a cup of tea. So it's very, very British in that sense, but it's about memory. And this was the first festival that I submitted this film to, and it was so lovely that it got accepted. So, thank you. Yeah, it was a nice boost. So thank you.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. So, Marilyn Freeman, why don't you go ahead and share your film and tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, thank you. Sorry I missed the earlier introduction, Kim. I didn't catch what you said or if anybody else went before that. The film that I have in the festival, and thank you, I'm so pleased to have it, have a film in this festival. It's called Like the Air, and it is a film about sort of dealing with grief. And, it happened, I made it in the wake of a death in our family that was a pretty tragic death. And I've had lots of people in my life die, but this particular death was unlike any other. And so there was a way I found of kind of, I don't know, I don't want to even say moving through that grief, but being in it in a way that was where I was able to actually make some work, which really helps. And that's that film is an artifact of a way that I had of some kind of, making some work that felt like some productive expression of this kind of terrible grief. So, and it was really, I was so interested, Jacalyn, to see sort of how this film was programmed. I mean, it's not like a heavy, sobbing kind of grief, but still it is, it's not a comedic film, or it's not like, so I got to watch the program my film was in, but I also watched one earlier yesterday. And in both cases, I thought the lineup of the programming was really effective. The sequencing of the films. I thought that was true about the placement of Like the Air in yesterday afternoon's lineup. So, yeah. Wonderful. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you all for submitting. And we have Stephanie. Stephanie, unmute and let us know what your film is. You have a film here, right?
Hi, yeah, my film played yesterday.
Tell us a little bit about it, yeah. And the title and a little bit about it.
That was called Quetzalcoatl path sacrifice, and that was I did the video, and my friend Enrique Cabrera is the poet, and basically we took the Mesoamerican god Quetzalcoatl, who was said to sacrifice himself so that the humans in the current epic could be born. And we took that theme of sacrifice, and he made a poem about his immigrant family and the sacrifices they've made. And I did stop motion, animation, motion graphics, and video to that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, I thank you each for submitting this year. I think I've got all the filmmakers. If I miss somebody, I think I have all the filmmakers who are online thus far. Just real quick before I have Lee come on. For those who don't know me, I am Jacalyn Eyvonne, as you all know now. And I am, of course, the director of the Monologues in Poetry International Film Festival, but I also host the International Kids and Film Festival. And I am the former publisher and editor of In the Company of Poets magazine that had its lifespan during the 90s. And of course, that's gone by the wayside, sadly, as a lot of our paperback publications have. But I was really pleased with that publication because it was endorsed by Maya Angelou, and her son, Guy Johnson, had a feature in it. And so that was really exciting for me. And I had a chance to really meet a lot of different poets. I didn't get to publish my poetry in it because that would be too vain to do that on a regular basis. So, but I did get to meet a lot of wonderful poets, over the course of those years. And I've been writing for a long time myself. So, and I'm currently the publisher of a book. Brag. I am not an inconsequential word, which is a collection of poetry and short stories. So with that, we're going to jump right on in. I'm going to let Lee go first because he's from the UK and it's past his bedtime, and we don't want him to not be able to make work tomorrow.
Well, I'm not at work tomorrow, but it's still very late.
Great. So go ahead, Lee. And I know you said you wanted to share a screen or do something, or
no, I don't.
Okay.
But I suggest if you can see me, or maybe put me on speaker view. So you were saying about technology being sort of the bane of your life. I mean, I don't particularly like technology, but actually Zoom and this Zoom meeting platform has transformed my career, and you'll see why now. So what you're about to witness for my poem is sounds and imagery made up of my personal archive as an artist of 25 years, and what you'll experience is all live, nothing is pre-recorded, and this poem is called Clever at Seeing Without Being Seen.
Whoa.
I discover the same other while creeping, sleeping. Discover the same other whilst under the cover, creeping, sleeping, peeping. Covert operations, my teenage fascinations, awkward altercations with non-queer populations. Sensations that taught me, if ever they taught me. Sighs cautiously deliberately blur, words that infer derogatory slur. I got very clever at seeing without being seen. Saturday afternoon football with my dad in the 90s. Chelsea, 1996.
A Coventry needs attention.
Dad watched the match. I watched the players. Dad remembers the midfielder's tackle. I remember the midfielder's tackle. Wolves and sports, men in shorts. Football with Dad, both happy and sad. Dad watching one way, me quite the other. Nothing beats a good tackle when seen under cover.
Aye, aye. Johnson. Aye, aye. Just there, but he's managed to find Stevenson. Aye, aye. London. Tomorrow night, Saturday, catch me.
Summer, 94. Me a boy, no more. I needed to see men like me.
DJs, including Paul Overfold, Dave Burrell, Fat Tony.
London's gay Soho. Pet Shop Boys, Boy George, George Michael, listening to my 90s mixtapes. See me, see Lee. King's Arms, where I learnt bears and cubs don't just live in the forest.
Aye, aye.
Nervous
Aye, aye.
yet emancipated
Aye, aye.
in a space
Aye, aye.
so animated.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye, aye.
My first time
Aye,
in
aye.
a place with men
Aye,
like
aye.
me everywhere.
Aye, aye.
Here's where I
Aye,
learnt to
aye. Aye, aye.
prolong my
Aye, aye.
stare at the
Aye, aye.
handsome bear
Aye,
and
aye,
not
aye.
in the least bit
Aye, aye.
care.
Aye.
I am a
Aye,
body,
aye.
a complex historied well of senses, emotions, proximities and encounters. A body that has learnt resilient being, developing tactics of seeing.
Aye, aye. Aye,
I
aye. Aye, 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 aye.
That's the end. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
Bit cold.
So he lost his clothing. That was quite interesting. He had to step off camera. I know. Woo! That was interesting, Lee. Tell us a little bit about it when you get your shirt back on there.
Yes, on now.
About that concept, how you came up with that.
Yeah, so when lockdown hit in March 2020, I started to make film, not poetry film, but just like films, and it was because couldn't go out, couldn't go anywhere. I started to use my archive. So all of my so I come from a fine art background, so all my paintings, my drawings, all the sounds that you see in that film, I started to make these short films. And I started to submit them to festivals, and they did really well. But I also am a performer as well. So someone said, I think you're really good at language, and I think you're really good at humour. And like this, like an open mic, I went to a poetry open mic for my first time about 2 years ago, November 2020. And just thought to myself, when I'm speaking my poetry, what would happen? It was just purely by accident. We had the ad video and people put, like, I don't know, Eiffel Tower or Sahara Desert or something. I thought, what would happen if I just put one of my films in? And it just transformed the way that I can do my poetry. So I still have the poetry films like the ones that you've seen, but I really like the idea of liveness and being in the Zoom meeting, because I don't know about you guys, but my whole life for the last 2 years has mostly been spent on Zoom, or these, like, I teach as well, so most of that's online, so people don't really want to be here sort of in too much more than they have to. So I just wanted to find a way of kind of bringing all that kind of visual language into what I do, and so there you go.
You just
you
did that. Great, thank you. So let's go to Kim. Kim, you want to go next? You were one of the first to sign in.
I'm really not quite sure what it is that I need to share.
Well, only if you want. You can share. You can. It's basically was poetry or monologue or book or promoting whatever you know that you want to promote related to the film. So if you want, you kind of shared a bit about your group.
Yeah.
Had a couple of people that have joined since then. So if you want to do something real brief again on that, feel free.
Yeah, I think if anyone has any questions, I guess I could start there. I'm not sure. I wasn't prepared to, other than just give you a little lowdown on how we came up with the film that was accepted into this festival.
Kim, I have a question.
Sure.
And I apologize again for being a few minutes late, but what was the title of your film? What's
The Things I Say to My Animal. It's going to be this afternoon. It'll be later
okay.
this afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Screening, yes. Okay.
I'll watch
Well,
that.
I don't want to. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. So
Oh,
I'm
no, that's fine.
happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So, Marilyn or Stephanie, either one of you want to go next? You guys had signed in early.
I'm going to pass. I really didn't have anything I was going to read or do anything. I just thought I've been to enough readings and done enough readings to know it's always nice to have audience. And I just wanted to meet some of the other participants, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I was happy to be here.
So, what about you, Stephanie?
Well, I don't know which film was yours, Lee. I don't see it on the program. Can you tell me again what your film was?
It was it's screened today. It was called Nice Cup of Tea.
Nice cup of tea, yeah.
Tea.
And are we able to look at them, Jacalyn? It will be, we'll be able to go back.
All on demand, and then the on demand begins 4 hours after the end of each screening segment. So you'll be able to watch them through the end of Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
I love that. Thank you for making them available.
You bet.
Yeah. I might have missed a section today. I don't know. Was there, I came on and the first section, for example, had dolphins in the shower.
Right.
That's the first section I saw. Was there another one after that?
There was one after that. So we'll
Oh,
be going into the third one at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this evening. So,
okay.
yeah. So
All right.
let's do this. Let's go ahead. I have a couple of poets that I know and writers that are online here. So Mark states, Nisha DeLovely, Lee Richardson, and I think Lee Campbell. No, not Lee Campbell. Let's see who else.
Nicole Scott.
Nicole is here just to watch, I believe, and see what kind of books you guys may be offering. With someone else.
I mean, I have a poem, but I didn't really want to read if no one was reading.
Let's go with Mark, and then we'll go to Nisha, and then let's go to Larry, and I think there's someone else. I may be missing someone, but let's go in that order, okay? And then Stephanie, you can find your poem and go ahead and go after them. So Mark, if we can start with you.
Okay, I'll be the guinea pig among the poets. Yeah, I've known Jacalyn for a very long time. And this has been a wonderful weekend in between my errands and having to clock into my, day job and stuff to just marvel at the creativity going on between poets and filmmakers. Yeah, I've just been blown away by so many of them. So it's been a great weekend in my book. I came up in the Bay Area open mic scene in 1993. Produced my first book in 1995 called Reinvention, and was doing the bookstore tour and all of that stuff. Then my father got diagnosed with cancer. And then I got into a factory accident. And so it kind of put the damper, the rain on the parade. But it wound up becoming my second book called Grip of the Past, which came out in the year 2000. And most bookstores in the Bay Area put it in their recovery or psychology section instead of in the local poet section, because poetry does give us the opportunity to express our feelings in a way that might not be comfortable for someone, laying down on the proverbial couch in a therapist's office or something like that. And I'd like to share actually the title poem from this book. It was written on Memorial Day of 1996. Dad never did like the winter holidays. Family holidays, he called them. Mom refused to invite him to be with us, so he was alone. And he kept it that way on purpose. His prize t-shirt read, "Bah humbug." He begged his adult children to spend the day elsewhere. It was self-pity as valor. But let one of those summer holidays roll around. Party time! Dad and I arranged to spend them together, the two of us. Hot plates of food, TV. I would do the cooking, he'd do the complaining. Yet he guzzled every crumb off the plate, so I didn't let his gruff talk fool me. Plastered like the walls drunk Dad would be. It was his coping mechanism, his liquefied atlas to hold up the world of regrets on his hunched shoulders. Can after can kept him going. Can't after can't. He would not release himself from the grip of the past. This was no dream vacation, but he was my father. And beneath the sense of duty and the credo, do the right thing, I guess I did love him. This Memorial Day was the first no party day. No meal to cook, no discussion to endure, no place to be at no certain time. Genetic homing instinct told me there was some place I was supposed to go, like a salmon thrashing itself upriver until the dam of certainty of death barricaded the path, a route rewritten, a plot edited out, a conclusion prevented. Someplace I was supposed to go. Someplace I was supposed to be. Someplace that no longer exists. I miss him, or maybe just the time together. I don't know, and I can't tell, because the journey does not end simply by diving down a deep well. For I am only comfortable with a place once I've left it behind. But the point of our journey is to pull off the fingers from the grip of the past. Thank you very much.
That's great. I really like the part where you said the genetic homing instinct, and then also a conclusion prevented someplace I was supposed to go. Very
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Very
You
interesting.
see, you get used to going someplace during the holidays, your only day off from work, for a number of years, and then you start to expect it. And then when it's gone, it's quite a shock. So,
And
you
I'm
know,
sure many of us kind of
yeah.
understand and feel that, particularly if you've had loved ones pass on, and then here's the holidays, and if it was someone that was the place that you all gathered, how difficult
Mm-hmm.
is that, to not have that gathering spot anymore, and you're kind of out in the wilderness. It's like you're lost. What do I do
Exactly.
next? Very interesting. Very interesting. Well,
Exactly.
we'll come back around to each other because we have some time. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go on. I think I said Nisha. Nisha. and Nisha, she is just a fabulous poet, artist that has just been around for several years now. I want you to make sure that you tell everybody about what you're doing as well, along with your work, and then also to those of you that have books, make sure that you put your links in the chat, and then so that we can share them with everyone. Okay. So Nisha the Lovely.
Thank you so much, Jacalyn. Hello, community of poets and just beautiful artists. And just thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this. I've been knowing Jacalyn for some years now, and I am completely inspired by the work that you do, the love, the passion that you put into community, helping provide a stage, a platform for emerging and thriving artists. So you've seen my growth. You've witnessed me go from almost mute to now really comfortable and just full of personality. And in fact, I was gonna do like this whole jazz thing. So you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna jump right into it with the whole little setup because this is my phony wine and I have my my microphone. And so yesterday last night I had an event and I can't even complain. I don't have any more books, but I will definitely plug all of my book information and let you all know what it is that I do in community and a little bit about my start.
That's a good thing. Yay.
I know, yay. So I'm going to start this off. The poem that I'm going to share is entitled Her Smile. And so this piece speaks of the strength of woman. Just there's something behind our smile. There's a reason, there's purpose. I was once told after sharing my life story that I must be slow to have that type of history, that type of backstory, and then still be able to smile. I was asked, why do you smile? You must be slow. And I was like, whoa, it did something to me psychologically, and it made me feel like, you know what, I'm gonna smile when the hell I feel like it, unapologetically, on purpose, in your face, because there's something behind the smile, be it a facade or just a coping mechanism. There's something behind it. So this is a monologue, right? So I'm gonna start it. I didn't know I had an audience. She's got that smile, wider than the night. She's got that smile. Despite all her trials, but who is she? With audacity to smile through adversity. She's got that smile, and she won't let go. Despite the frequent piracy attempts, the surge is willing to drown her in an ocean of emotion. She remains a strong vessel with the key of a lighthouse, constantly confronting rogue waves of bigotry, emergencies, adversity, and family. Her daily struggles increases her faith and muscle. So no slap on the face can erase her smile. No battery nor slander can deface her smile. Cautiously, yet defensively, she approaches each and every road. This delicate rose with such heavy load, unwilling to break even when broken to defend her own. See, she can never be weak with will so strong. Anxiety impairs her grip, but she still holds on. Coveted for her beauty and intelligence, her loyalty, her integrity, her dignity, her sex. In a world where many treat her like a mere object. But she knows like I know, that she is not a possession. Despite the ugliness of this world, we are beautiful reflections of the Most High. And that's why she smiles when most said she shouldn't. In fact, she smiled when her health said she couldn't. Education, occupation, termination, depression, marriage, divorce, birth, funeral recessions, healthcare, welfare. But does anyone truly care about the widows, the grieving, the single, the homeless mothers? Ridicule and rejection is enough to make you smother. When politics and lunatics aim to bring her shame, even in her downpour of tears, she smiles through the rain. In joy and in mourning, be it success or death, because her smile says, God, I thank you, down to her last breath. See, she's got a story greater than you'll ever know. It's concealed and revealed in that smile. She ain't letting it go. But who is she? With audacity to smile through adversity. She's got that smile, and she won't let go. No matter how slow they think she may be for smiling through adversity, she's got a story behind that greater than you'll ever know. She, he, and they got that smile, and they ain't letting it go.
That was great, Nisha. That was great. You know, you always, well, I don't know about the men, but for women, we have people, strangers that will pass us on the street or someplace and just, smile.
Yes.
How often has that happened to you guys? Some stranger telling you to smile. They don't know what's happening with you. They don't know where your thoughts are, where you've been, nothing about you, but they tell you to smile. But I have never heard of anyone tell someone that because they're smiling, they must be slow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it came from a prominent Bay Area artist who is all about female empowerment. Wow. And I looked up to her and I was just like, are you serious?
That's crazy. Does anyone have any questions for Nisha or for Mark? Go ahead, Stephanie.
Do you sing in the jazz bar?
I don't, but this is my
That's her jazz bar. I love the creativity. I wouldn't have thought of, coming on a Zoom and then having your show like that, your background. So you prepared.
This microphone is not even real. It is a flashlight with a sock over it and a bracelet.
Flashlight. Let me put that up.
Fabulous.
Put that up on the screen. I'm gonna do the speaker so we can see that.
It's an actual flashlight.
And then in the beginning, you were like, is this on? Is this on? That was a fabulous.
That's fantastic. Creativity at its best. I tell you. I think I have somebody in the waiting room. Let's see. How do I get them in?
Nisha, don't forget to put your book in the chat or links.
Yes. Okay. I certainly will.
Thank you.
Nisha, Kim wrote a comment that said she loved the singing with the monologue. I think that's what you said, Kim. I love that too. It was really, it's just very original, and so especially in this context. I mean, it was just really great.
Right.
Really nicely done.
Exceptional. I loved it. Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So did you prepare something else for us? Because we're going to go around.
I do have something else that I would love to share.
You have a second chance. Good.
Okay. All right.
So let's, and I see Gareth joined us. Hi, I'm so happy you joined us. Let's go to Larry. How are you, Larry?
Hello. Hi there. Thank you for having me. To this event, and I enjoy looking at these short films with poetry, putting a visualization to poetry, because poetry in itself is powerful and is used to has a reflection of self and a knowledge of self and the greatness of humanity of every individual. So I believe poets have a chance to make a positive impact and allow people to awaken to the knowledge of self. So thank you. I met you through the Facebook group, and I always like to write and share, and so thank you for this opportunity. I have my poetry is self-awakening and is deep. I try to write from the unconscious, try to go thinking outside the box, to another level of thinking, not only what you can see, but the tangibles of touching somebody's soul and making a difference and causing them to think about their actions and how it affects not only one, but everyone in the chain of humanity. So this poem is called In Living Color. The iniquities of the children of humanity has clouded the skies with the remnants of their darkest desires, being daily, viciously, and subliminally manifested in accordance to the underlying principles of pure evilness. Throughout the vortex of perpetual time, we have lost our morality, knowingly thrown into the sea of despair and hopelessness. The more we continue to progress, but because of our prideful ways and refusal to come to terms with our past behaviors and hatred towards one another, we backwards into inhumanity quickly regress. With this narrative, that's a part of the overall plan to control the situation, everyone, and everything under the sun within a bubble of the world. The welfare of humanity is purposely being overlooked and destroyed, as well as the beauty of dear old majestical Mother Earth, as violence continues to unfurl. The leaders and experts seem to not have a clue or swear to not know the intricate plot. Don't be fooled, because those who refuse to see when the truth is revealed and in total shock, as it shall be, their stomachs will be tied in knots. This revolution will surely be televised, Instagram, and Twitterized, and it will definitely include you and your dearly beloved ones' lives, including the other sisters and brothers from another mother. Thanks to advanced technology, all the sickness was only seen in black and white. Now, at least, it'll be produced, acted out, and seen in living color.
Wow. That was great. I love the Instagram and Twitterized. I tell you, that was really good. And by the way, everyone, put your IG links in also so we can follow each other if you have an IG link. And then you mentioned traveling like backwards in humanity. That is so powerful, because right now it just really feels like here in, at least in our country, in the US, that we are just regressing, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's really disturbing.
And as artists, we have a unique opportunity to change the narrative through our arts. Now, this weekend has shown that you can take mere words, and if you have a visualization, a message behind it, more people are gravitated. So I think what you're doing with the Monologues of Poetry should be done, should be applied to everything, especially when you have positive people in the messages, because all we see is the negativity, but it is a lot of beautiful, positive things being done that, of course, is not going to be shown because of the system and everything. So,
I definitely agree. And that was great and powerful. And I really appreciate you being here today as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go to Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I'm in Austin, by the way. I don't know where everyone else is. I know where Mark is, but
I'm from California, Northern California.
love it there. Is everyone else in the Bay Area?
Where are you guys? Just shout out where you're from.
London. Very, very cold London. Snowy.
Yeah, I like it there when it's not cold.
Lancaster,
Olympia, Washington, which is kind of between Seattle and Portland.
Oh yeah, my sweetheart's sister lives there.
Have you been here?
No. Oh yeah, I have. I've been to the bookstore. I mean the bookstore and the record store.
Those are the main places to go. Yeah, that's awesome.
In Portland,
Oakland, California.
Oakland.
Nice.
Philadelphia, PA.
Okay.
I'm from Southern California, but currently I'm in freezing cold Minneapolis, Minnesota. So
Oh,
Whoa.
wow. Okay.
Don't envy that.
Great. So did you want to share a read?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I told the people yesterday that were on here that I normally write poems about nature, sometimes haiku, and I've been working on a series that it's called Thinking in Feathers, and it's about it's different poems about birds through my observations of birds and kind of creating metaphors for human living by observing nature. And so I'll read one poem called Star Plume that I did a video for. Here we go. I'll also I'll show a picture that goes with it. A soft, round star falls slowly, gently. Unrecognizable floating object lands on my fingertips. Down from the owl in the tree above me. A once-in-a-lifetime communion when time shimmered and almost stopped. An intimate treasure that ended when my slightest movement collapsed the plume into tangled fluff. Now a gem-like memory that can't be recreated. I'm haunted by unrecorded filmic scenes, but those magical moments subvert the control of machines. I become paralyzed, camera in hand, fully absorbed in the experience. I'd rather catch the feather than get the shot. Now I have a piece of sweet wisdom to write about. To see like the wise old owl, whose saucer eyes observe galaxies more than mine. Electric lights blot out the heavens, so we forget we're not the center of the universe, nor is mankind the sovereign of the world. Thanks.
That's beautiful.
So I didn't get a video of it because I was too engrossed in this magical thing happening, but my sweetheart took a picture of that in my hand.
Fantastic. That was great. Anyone have any questions for Stephanie?
Well, I loved the line about the not capturing not getting the filmic moment and then feeling haunted by that. I can't remember exactly how that line went. It was really, really beautiful, and I can relate to it too.
Yes.
So painful and but not really painful and kind of unforgettable. And so the photo that you were showing was of that actual experience that you described?
Yes, I was dumbfounded, and I chose to just keep watching and catch the feather instead of filming the feather falling. But I didn't know my sweetheart was actually taking a picture of me catching the feather, and he got that beautiful image.
Yeah, that was a lucky moment on
Yes.
top of a lucky moment.
Yeah. Indeed.
Thank you for that. It was very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gareth, do you want to share about your film and what you do with your production company?
oh, sure. I I went into that before, so I thought that was enough of that. But
Well, we have some new people on here.
yeah.
Too, so.
And what we do, anybody is welcome to, as I said the last time. But we hold a Zoom meeting every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we read scripts, typically screenplays, to try to determine what short films we want to shoot for the company, which is Detroit Street Films. And every meeting, Bjorn Johnson conducts a group poem where he tells us if it's a theme or a title, and then we throw out suggestions, And then we vote upon it, and whatever is determined, the agreed upon title or theme, during the course of the night where we read the other scripts, everybody writes one line, 12 words or fewer, dedicated to that chosen theme or title. And they've become quite sophisticated with this particular group. We've been, doing the Zoom thing since the beginning of the quarantine. And one of our members suggested we make short films out of them, and that's how we wound up here.
Thank you for that. It's very interesting. So you want to put your Facebook information or in the chat, any information, in case someone wants to join, you feel free to do that.
Thank you so much. I will. I'll put some information in here.
Great. Okay. And I think, did everyone have a chance to speak that's online? Let's see. Did I miss anyone that wanted to speak? So I think we got everyone, and we're going to go back around in a second. But let me read, and I'm going to have to put my eyeglasses on for this. Excuse me. So I'm going to read a poem from my book again. I am not an inconsequential word. Don't know if you can see that. There we go, kind of. And this one is called I'm Mad at You. And I'll tell you a little bit about it after how I came to after I read it. I'm mad at you. When illness hides itself behind your eyes, often unrecognizable, behind your anger, I'm mad at you. Knowing it's not your fault. You didn't invite sickness in. It found you. You didn't welcome it into your heart. It settled there. My complexity reflects back at me when I look at you, coupled with the guilt that visits me by day, causing me to pick at my pimples, chew at my nails, the ailment of your body, the weakness of your disordered mind, being careful of emotions that maneuver your moods, leaving me under unwanted stress and wondering, why me? Why this? Why so much work to live each day with you? Wanting what eats at you to go away, the sickness that forces me to avoid your eyes, exhausted by my caregiver role, yearning to return to the past of the lover, the hot mama, the sexy wife that I used to be, not an attendant only to your needs or a curator of your life. I'm worn down by the slow chipping away at the spirit, the vanishing of me, of whom I was supposed to be. Dreams held back, goals neglected for a life that you dealt me you. I'm mad at you, knowing it's not your fault, missing you now that you're gone. And I wrote this one. My husband passed back in 2001, so it's been a while, but he suffered from PTSD, and also, the struggle with just that. And then towards the near the end of his life, he had a brain tumor. And so it was such a struggle just living, each day with him, and knowing what he was going through, loving him, but being mad as hell, at him at the same time, and then feeling really guilty because I was having all these feelings about it. And so that's, the basis of this poem and how it came to be. being mad at someone and then loving them at the same time. And now missing, him and thinking about him all the time. So even still, after all these years later, you just, sometimes I wake up and I can see him. I can see the look on his face, that exact look on his face when he was in the hospital room the evening before the night that he died. And sometimes it haunts me, with that guilt, that you felt that you were just, loving, but so angry. And then you're left alone and have to deal with, life and 2 kids by yourself, so I was mad, but that's how that one came about. So at any rate, let's go.
Jacalyn,
Yes.
can we spend a minute on your poem? Can we?
Oh, yes, please. Let's go.
Well, hey, I love that you shared. I love that you shared one of your pieces, and what a powerful piece in the revelation at the end about now that you're gone. Like it makes that it's like such a force multiplier in an already powerful poem. It was really beautiful and really well crafted. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any other comments or questions on my piece?
Just thanks for sharing.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
very intimate feelings.
Thank you. Okay, so then let's go back around. So if anyone, one of the filmmakers that has something that they would like to share that they didn't think to share before, please chime in.
Well, I wasn't going to share anything, but I did put a couple things in the chat box since you invited us to, Jacalyn. One is I posted a link to a book that I have out that is about filmmaking and my practice of filmmaking, which is contemplative. And so it's a little bit of film practice, a little bit of personal sort of lyrical pieces in it, and a little bit about contemplative practice. So, and I put a link to the independent publisher of that book. And then I also am co-curating a video anthology, and I put a couple of links to information about that. And I invite everybody who's interested to take a look and, submit. And the closing date for submissions is coming right up, but you could just reach out to me directly or through the email connected with the thing at Film Freeway, and I could give you a waiver code if you miss the deadline and still want to submit something. So.
Fantastic. Well, we just through from this film festival and the festivals that are cropping up that have to do with poetry and monologues and whatnot, we see the direction that this art is going. So learning that craft or working with someone that has the craft to create your films and put them, your poems and put them into film. I think it's a powerful presentation as well. So thank you for that, for sharing that, Marilyn.
Yeah, and the video anthology is called Good Symptom, and there are a couple of links to it in the chat box too. So thanks for a moment on that.
Great. Any other filmmaker that wants to share something before we go back into the poetry? I don't know who. I think one of Kim left. Okay, so then let's go back to Mark, who started us off, and please do share some more of your wonderful work.
All right, thank you, Jacalyn, and thank you everyone who's still here, much appreciated. So I made mention of my first book, Reinvention, which came out in 1995 from Mother's Hen Press. There's a picture of me circa 1990, this being a goofball. My first book is basically compiled from my first year or two being on the open mics. And at that time, my poetry was heavily influenced by music of all kinds, from classic rock up to funk and everything in between. And so I'd hear a little bit of a lyric and write a poem about it. But it had a theme, basically, of starting off as a child and thrown into various circumstances, society, parents, teachers, everyone, trying to tell you how to be, and growing out of that and finally learning how to be yourself. And many of the poems are written sort of also in the style of Langston Hughes, my absolute favorite poet of all time. They are short, mostly very direct, straightforward language. And in fact, I think I sold more copies of this book at bus stops than I did at poetry coffee houses. There was a kind of kinship that developed. I found out who my audience was, which was single mothers. Because most of them would read this poem that I'm about to read here and buy the book because they related to it from their own perspective. It's called 11. Forced to be a man when I was only 11. Head of the house, a puppet for a mother queen who declared my father gone. Banished myself at 18. The heart inside of me still waiting to witness the joys of youth. The evidence was gone, not a chalk trace, no proof there ever was such a thing. Lambasted for being nothing but an 11-year-old boy turned man. But that's all I ever knew. So that's all I ever became. I'd like to do another couple of short ones if I may and still have time. This one was inspired by Prince. Dance on sand. Slide down an hourglass, slip through the narrow spot and land on the heap. A place to play, to live the sleep that guides our nights. Pick up a handful, let it sift, get down to the essence. Dance on sand. It's only the time past, the things we haven't gotten done. Does it mean something? Dance on the dreams, the things we go to bed for and live away from. The point is we remember, and that's all the joy we need to keep on dancing.
Very nice.
So yes, thank you.
Very nice. One more?
Yes, once I find it. One more, please. And this one actually was inspired in a way by a line from Michael Keaton in the Beetlejuice movie. The real you. It's showtime. It's your turn to let them clothes burn and show the real you. You don't have to be naked for people to see the fire inside. It's got to whip, to crackle, to break its way out of the cotton shackles we gotta believe. It's KNOW time. It's your time to shine. The 15 minutes of flame do everyone up on a stage. You are a space engine waiting on the command to engage. We gotta perceive the quiet fire inside the attire. Burn, robe, burn. We gotta know the unmitigated soul, the cat on an electric wire. Gotta know the you that's true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very
I
nice.
have not done these poems for so long, but because they're like 28 years old. But it's like riding a bike. You know, you never learn or you never forget how to ride a bike. And so it's very easy to pick up this book after not, having it in my hands for 10 or 15 years and read it pretty much the way I read it, when it came out. It's been fun.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you joining us this weekend. Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you too.
Any questions for Mark, anyone? If not, let's go to Nisha.
Here I am once again. I've changed a little bit. So this piece, just like you, Mark, I have not shared this in a minute. So it's entitled "The High Priestess," and it is dedicated to one of my icons, Nina Simone. And it's a narrative of her life. And I try to recite this piece. Well, I try to share this piece because today I'm gonna read it. But when I was at the point of reciting, when I was able to remember it, I was trying to share it in her voice. So please bear with me as I try to do my best Nina Simone impersonation, which is a little rusty. But again, this is entitled High Priestess, and it's found in the anthology called Reflections to the Creative Process by local, internationally known artist James Gales. So this book here, you can find it, I believe, in all of the book retails online and most throughout the Bay Area. And he's an artist again, so the cover art was inspired by my poem. So I'm like, yay! All right, so here we go. Comatose folks can't cope with my ethnic notes, my confidence, my sternness, nor my keystrokes. My knack to hack minds with the piano austere, because classic Black ain't for the faint to bear. See, I'm a priestess, high as the evaporated condensation weighing down dark clouds, with passion just as apparent as rain, irrigating my ancestral pain. I comprehend whimpers clearly as whispers, and tone intimately speaks to me, and compellingly I sing to thee, protesting restlessly, relentlessly fighting for Black civil liberties, as the supreme gospel convicts and conflicts my being, stroking me gently, beating me fervently, for I am a piano, making love to a gun, a bold maestro, birthing feminine gold of an eclipsed sun, cultured, sharp, and unmatched, young, gifted, and Black. I've unlocked the doors of genres with scores. They've tried caging my abilities with these keys, but a radical panther cannot be sieged. So I'm gonna break down and let it all out, giving them something to talk about, something to remember me by until the day that I die. Spare me your pacification that comes with your rash explanation. See, my third eye is not blind. You project the deficits of your mind, but it be's like that sometimes. Yes, it's a new day and I'm feeling good, but don't let me be misunderstood. How many little Black girls must be blue for you to have a clue for America to own up to its blatant hostility, its racial inequality, 4 or more? I sing songs to let you know. I sing my songs to end Jim Crow. And my verses strike like in a fight. My verses hit the civil rights. I'm not afraid to confront these slick tricks with hostility, for they waste no time trying to criminalize and monopolize me. Ironically, only while performing am I truly free. Wild as the wind of the broad ocean breeze. Until relieved of breast cancer and bipolar disease, my soul released on April 21st, 2003. They look at me and they wonder why. They look at me, they watch me die. Publicly, but unapologetically, I will continue to stand on local and foreign land. You ask, who am I? I am the blue, the black, the gray, and the brown. But you may call me Nina.
That was great. That was great. You know, I really like the line when you said caging my abilities. I thought that was a really powerful line. And then sing my songs to end Jim Crow. That goes back to what Larry was kind of talking about earlier too, when he, talked about us creatives kind of bringing the good to the world, through our work. And so that was a real powerful line. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much, Nisha, for joining us today. I really appreciate it, and bringing your creativity to the Zoom platform. Wonderful. I really appreciate that. Any questions or comments for Nisha, anyone?
I put this in the chat, but that was a perfect ending, Nisha. Perfect ending.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Our respect to our beloved ancestor, Nina Simone. Yes.
I love her too.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
thank you again, Jacalyn. This was beautiful. I'm so grateful to be amongst everyone here.
Thank you. And it's so nice to have, the people from all over, coming, like we had Lee earlier from the UK, so that was really great. Larry, it looks like are you froze up? Oh no, I guess you were just doing something. Do you have a piece?
Well, I got 3 short pieces.
Okay, so and then I think what we'll do is, because it's a small group, everyone's had a chance to share. So after Larry, if you have something to chime in, we'll do that. Otherwise, we're going to kind of end the session a little early, give us time to go and have dinner and do whatever we need to do before the final session this evening. So
yeah, I have 3 pieces.
Okay, so let's go ahead, Larry. I'm going to put you on.
Okay. The first one is called Vibration. Vibration. Deep within the nature of the soul's core are the divine gifts and instruments whose very unique collaboration manifests an amazing and monumental and phenomenal soundtrack and musical core. Each creation so wondrously dances freely to its own beat in the magnification of the raw beauty of life, in which the much needed extra knowledge of your greatness and adrenaline rush propels your whole existence to unknown heights and so much more. Love is the sole conductor of the synchronized orchestration that too is the key to the fine tuning and perfect reference of your awesomeness and powerful vibration.
Wow, nice.
Milk. The second one is milk of the sunlight. On the fertile grounds of the earthy, moisturizing grains and substance of your glorious validation and of self-expression, we are the seedlings of artistic origins and of existence in the purest form of reflection. As new creations manifested as babies, we rely on the power of our hearts and souls' desires to reach the blessings of divine masteration. In the warmth of the womb of unconditional love, we grow accordingly to and in the process of the written principles of the structural foundations of life. In the security of the lap of the nourishment and sustainability of the powerful blessings, we elevate and are in constant motion as we daily suckle on the mystical rays and the milk of the sunlight.
Wow.
The unconsciousness. In and on the field of life, the game is sometimes played to sudden death, or what may call it fourth down in inches on the goal line. When it seems that you are not able to fill that definition of moment in your life, giving up is where you might be totally open to and very inclined. Without any faith or hope, due to the trials, tribulations, tests, uncertainties, and adversities you will definitely face, you will surely succumb to. Never allow doubt or negativity flood your emotional nature and exploitive content with its powerful and misleading principles of failure, emptiness, and nothingness. Step up to the challenges without fear, for you're manifested from the awesome origins of pure beauty, grace, mystique, truth, magnificence, and greatness. There's nothing here on earth you can't go through and not on the other side be standing strong and confidently, victoriously, and successfully accomplished when belief in oneself and abilities are truly derived from the divine and phenomenal state of knowledge of being called the unconsciousness.
Yay. Very nice. Very nice. The power of the mind. I tell you, that's what it's all about. So that is what it's all about. Thank you for sharing that, Larry. I really appreciate that. Anyone else have any other comments that they want to throw in, or no? If not, I want to thank each and every one of you for spending the time with us over this past couple of days. I really appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you at our final screening this evening. Next year, I think we'll add a session for just the filmmakers and poets to just really, be able to really delve into their films as well. So this is great. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to sign off now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
See you later. Thanks, Nisha. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Bye, Tiffany. Bye, bye.
Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.